So today's coaching clinic is really looking at, the way that we create miracles, how we can create miracles, and the fact that we have a spiritual team, your very own spiritual team, on your side to support you in life. So often I'm speaking to women who are efforting on their own and really trying to get something going or experience a deeper well-being or just, be in connection with others with a lot on their own back, a lot on their own shoulders, a lot of efforting. And there's a few things I've seen about just the miraculous and how we can experience daily miracles as we begin to stop getting in the way. So that's what today's session is really about. How we can move into experiencing daily miracles with the help of our spiritual team. And I'm going to share 3 simple ways that you can begin to connect with your spiritual team. And, essentially, what is that spiritual team for those of you that are maybe hearing that language for the first time? So before we go there, let's just close our eyes. I like to start with a gentle meditation. And let's just tap in on a quieter space where we can begin to hear and create and see the miracles of our heart. So I'm just going to turn my camera to spotlight for that. Okay. So close your eyes, whatever you've been doing up until now, just let it go. You're here to receive and experience in a fresh way, in a deeper way, all that you are. And so to do that, I like to begin with 4 deep breaths. So just with your eyes closed, breathe in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. And out through the nose or the mouth, 2, 3, 4. In through the nose, 2, 3, 4. And out through the nose or the mouth, 2, 3, 4. So you're really coming into this space grounded. You're really able to relax and receive the information. In through the nose, 2, 3, 4. And out through the nose or the mouth, 2, 3, 4. Just feel yourself settle. It doesn't matter what frustrations you've got about yourself right now or others. It doesn't matter what you have or haven't done. You're still worthy of love. You're still worthy of receiving here. And it doesn't matter what you're up against. You're just coming into this moment where all is well. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. And I just visualize roots coming from your feet, down through the floorboards, down through the ground, down into the underground, and wrap those roots around a rock at the bottom of the earth. This rock is supporting you. This rock is taking care of you. This rock has golden light and energy to direct you. See golden light coming from that rock up through the roots, through the underground, through the ground, through the floorboards, and into your feet. Now, essentially, if you're experiencing any physical pain or emotional pain, let this healing light guide you and heal you. So see the light now moving up through your feet, through your ankles, up through your legs, your shins, your calves, into your kneecaps, up through the front of the legs, the back of the legs, into the hips, up through the front of the body, the back of the body, in through the spine, this golden light swirling all the way up. Let yourself experience that light as healing you, taking care of you. And anywhere that you're feeling any sort of discomfort, now is a perfect time to send golden light to that area. In this moment, that light is the light of your true nature, the light that can support you in all that you are, in remembering who you are. So let yourself receive that light. Keeping yourself in a state of grace, in a state of ease. Just set an intention here as that light surrounds you. What miracle are you wanting to experience? Set an intention now for even this particular session. What miracle do you want to come out of showing up here, being here, experiencing this with us? Just feel the light envelope you now. And letting yourself receive. Maybe you're up against a lack of hope about your business. Maybe you're up against a lack of faith in the spiritual dimension and support that's available to you. Maybe you're up against some recurring patterns or insecurities that just keep being loud in your mind to the point that you're not really able to move forward on things. It doesn't really matter at this point what you're up against. You might be able to identify it. But in this gentle meditation, just let it go. Part of you being here in this coaching clinic is an acknowledgement that you're ready to stir up faith and hope, regardless of what your life experience is showing you. And that's the direction we'll go in now. So feel that beautiful golden light surrounding you, embracing you, allowing you to be all that you are. And I see roots again coming from your feet, down through the ground, into the underground, and right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. Wrap those roots around that rock. breathing to the count of 4. Feeling a little slower, a little quieter, a little more connected and recentered. And let's open our eyes to be here now. So there's a few ways that we can harness our spiritual team for success, for miracles, for support. But for those of you that aren't familiar with a spiritual team or why you would even bother, your spiritual team is accessible to you at all times on your asking and is made up of whomever you decide to invite alongside whoever's always been there. So I have clients that have the experience of being guided or supported by their intuition and their wisdom. And that's us. That's a huge part of us. That's a huge part of how the divine energy behind life expresses itself in our human form. And then sometimes we just might notice that we need help. We're getting in the way. We're too anxious. We're too nervous. We're too insecure. We're overthinking. And in those moments, we can't always trust ourselves. It's not that this wisdom or intuition goes away. It's that it gets clouded with thoughts that become louder and faster. This is when we really want more support. And that support for the miracle that you want, the objective that you have, is just one thought away, one invitation away. When you consider that you have a spiritual team, you can invite onto your spiritual team whoever you believe in. For some of you, that might be a particular type of religious identity. For some of you, it might be an angelic identity. For some of you, it might be someone that you've known who has passed away. For some of you, it might be a pet that you were very close to. For some of you, it might be someone you truly admire in the world who's no longer with us. And I'll share a bit more about this as we go along. Because we are all one, we have access to all the oneness that's available. And just because an energy has dissolved from physical form does not mean we no longer have access to that energy. So whatever the person or the pet or the entity was good at in this life, they're even better at from where they now stand. So when I talk about harnessing support from your spiritual team, I invite you to consider firstly what you need support with, and consider either going general and asking for help in general around that, or going more specific and calling on your spiritual team member to help you with that. Now, this became all the more real for me when my partner passed away 2 years ago. And he was so good at technology. I wasn't. But what I began doing was I began noticing that I would get kind of panicked when something went wrong. And the term I had with my partner, Francesco, was my babe fixes everything. And he did. He fixed everything technologically, kind of where the car was concerned, where the house was concerned. Look, he was just really good at fixing things. He was a problem solver in this life. And so what I find myself doing in a bit of a panic after his death was kind of mentally calling on him. Babe, you got to fix this. Babe, help me fix this. Babe, show me how to fix this. And it came very naturally to me to just call on his support. I was never let down. It always worked out. And I even have a colleague that I collaborate with on a program, our best-selling program at the moment, Living Miraculously, who didn't know my partner in this life, but who also calls on him as part of his spiritual team now when he gets into technical difficulties. And again, he's never let down. Just last week, he was away in the Caribbean, and I knew I didn't really have access to him as much. But I messaged him because I needed something done that day. And it was a technical piece that he had to do on his side for our connection on our web. And he said, you know, Grace, I didn't even know how to do that because I've only got my phone at the moment. I don't have my computer. But hey, I called on Francesco to be part of my team in that moment. And we figured it out. And here you go. I can send you what you need. So this is the other cool thing about harnessing your spiritual team is it doesn't even have to be someone you know. It might be someone you've been inspired by through somebody else. And it doesn't have to be someone that you that's physically here, physically able to show up. Your spiritual team can be made up of whomever you like. And right now, in my own life experience on my spiritual team, yes, I have Francesco for general support, but particularly for things he was good at in his life: technology, exercise, cooking Italian food. Okay. I also have a couple of other members of my team that I invite in and call on for things related to image and fashion. One of my best friends was a Hollywood costume designer for 40 years. She passed away a year ago, just nearly a year ago. And at times when I've had to prepare for a photo shoot or somebody was about to take a picture of me and I was worried how it looked, I called on her. Bobby, come and be part of this setup. Make sure it works out really well. She was also great at organizing the home. So when I'm about to do a big blast of housework, which doesn't happen very often, but when I'm about to do that, I'll call on her. I had a dog, Hachiko, who slept about 14 hours a day and was a great sleeper and was the most calm, zen energy you could ever imagine. In the months after Francesco's death, I had great difficulty when I moved in on my own to relax and fully fall asleep at night. And I began inviting Hachiko, my dog, onto my spiritual team. At some point, Celestino when his physical form leaves this space and time, I'll call on him for the things that he is good at. He's a great guard dog. He's a protector. He's very vocal. This might sound nutty, but it's been my experience that once we invite the energy to support us, and you can go general with this, you can go Holy Spirit, God, you can go Archangel, Raphael, or whoever, you can go like infinite intelligence, you can go, source. Once you set that invitation for support, there's something magical that begins to occur. And part of the magic is that we get to relax and receive. We get to move out of the way. We get to simply sit back and listen for the guidance, yes, but specifically acknowledge and notice the guidance when it shows up. So whether we're up against a health struggle or a financial struggle or, a relationship issue, we want to get into the habit of setting our small selves aside and inviting in the support of a spiritual team member. You'll know in your heart who that is for you or what that is for you. You'll just have a knowing. But the key is you don't want your mind to be so busy so often that you simply forget to even ask for help. I hear that a lot from my clients. Like they're out there efforting on their own, worrying about themselves, wondering about how they are going to get the job done. And because they're seeing life through a lens that wide, they forget the support that's available. Now, if the same energy that is breathing you, digesting your food, beating your heart, is doing all of that, it's also able to do other things for you. You don't even have to ask for your heart to keep beating. You don't even have to ask for your next breath to arrive. It's just automatic. So what if the rest of life can also just be automatic? You need that thing, okay, automatically you're gonna receive it. Your job is to invite the support, to ask for the support, and to get out of the way. In a quiet mind, you will be given guidance. You'll get a divine download. Clients come to me and they get disappointed when their situations aren't working out. And when we really look at what's going on, they're innocently not getting downloads for what they're being called to. They're thinking up what they should create next. It's a very different space to come from. When our minds are a little quieter, we hear the spiritual guidance. We have enough mental bandwidth to remember to invite help and ask for support. We're not caught in this confusion and doubt. We're just acting on what we're hearing or inviting in. So the first way you can begin to create miracles today, and by harnessing your spiritual team, is to invite some team members. Like, let's take a moment to do that now. Just close your eyes, take a moment. What do you need the most help with? And who do you want to invite onto your spiritual team to handle that for you? Great. You just got team member number 1. You can call on that team member anytime you want. Get in the habit of it. You don't have to share this with your neighbors. You don't have to share it with your husband. You don't have to share it with your family. You don't have to share it with anyone who's going to pierce you with levels of doubt. You just have to begin to collect the evidence. So the second way that you can begin to harness your spiritual team is to make a note of every single time your spiritual team deliver. You just make a note of that every time. I was just reminded when I went into my group the other day, you just have a look here, and I was reminded that there's such an amazing vortex, if you want to call it that, of possibility. I was in there and I was just looking at some of the stories, some of the miracles that have shown up when I've called on my spiritual team. So last week, for example, unfortunately, my dog got me up at 3:00 in the morning because he had to go out. Doesn't happen very often. I'm usually not afraid if I have to, but I kind of felt nervous. I don't like that 3:00, 4:00 hour in the morning. And I have a little weighing scale for food. And I came downstairs and it was sitting on the countertop, and I could hear myself saying to Francesco, spiritual team, please take care of me. We're going to walk out now. So please, keep us safe. And I'm sure nothing's going to happen, but just walk with us, keep us safe. And suddenly that little weighing scale, which you really have to put something on it for it to come on, it lit up and it said, hi. Now, the only times I've ever seen it do that is when I put the pasta or the rice on it, and it then says hi, and it then shows how many grams. Because trust me, I could eat 300 grams of pasta easily, so I have to weigh it sometimes. That came on, that light came on, and that hi came on after my mental invocation for protection and support, since I had to take my dog out at 3:00 in the morning. That's not a coincidence. That's a spiritual team. That's like hey, we're here, take it easy. Now, unless I write that down, unless I collect that evidence, it's going to be very easy for me to just be in feelings of doubt and insecurity and forget that I have spiritual support all around. So the second way you harness your spiritual team members is to really collect the evidence of their support. So again, thinking of the thing that you have a need for, a desire for, wanting help around, you invite your team member now, or go general, invite the whole team to support you with it. Just mentally invoke it. And so in the coming hours and days, you want to make a note of the evidence of that showing up. You want to collect the evidence. This is another way we harness our team. And as you see that evidence grow and grow and grow into probably a whole journal, pretty soon you will stop efforting alone. You'll just get more and more into the habit of calling on that team to help you. The third way that we create miracles on a daily basis, that we get to harness our spiritual team and create miracles, is it's really through prayer and intention. So if you can begin to start your day in less of a frenzy and in more of a state of intention for the day, coupled with a prayer and invitation to your team to support you, you will begin to notice a huge difference. I remember being in Dublin at Christmas, and I woke up that morning and I was like, I really, really had an intention for a pair of comfortable walking shoes, but they had to be stylish as well. I don't have the greatest history with shoes. I'm a set in European, I'm 7.5. It's kind of hard to get half sizes. It's not like America. I think in America, it's like 10.5. So I don't walk around with a lot of hope in this area. And when I find a pair of shoes that really, truly fit me, I don't care if they cost like even up to £1,000, I will get them, because there's that sense in me of, I guess, I'm not sure if I'm going to find another pair like this for another while. So you can tell that my human self is kind of like convinced that there's a bit of a problem in this area. But when I woke up that morning and I said, okay, fashion team, I want comfortable shoes. They need to be pretty. They need to match with everything, but I really need to be able to walk in them. And you can imagine my delight and surprise. The very first shop I go to, well, it was okay, but it wasn't great. But the very next shop I go to is not a shop I would ever have thought of entering. But it had a beautiful pair of boots in the window. And I went in, I tried them on. They fitted perfectly. They were more expensive than I wanted to pay, but I was willing to go there. And I've been wearing them ever since. Now, you can call on your team for anything. Nothing is too frivolous, whether it's fashion or lipsticks or jewelry or cars or romantic relationships. You know, you've got a team member for each one. When I started looking to date other people, you know, I was kind of sifting through some options. And eventually I just said, okay, romantic team, send me somebody who's trustworthy, handsome, and will take really good care of me, because that's all I'm looking for at the moment. I'm not looking for like the next love of my life. And this guy who had been Facebook messaging me for a coffee, that's how it works here in southern Italy for the most part. I didn't know who he was, and I just assumed it was somebody who knew my story and wanted to connect. That happens regularly. But then one day, very shortly after calling on my spiritual team, I'm sitting at the coffee bar. Actually, no, my friends called me and said, you've got to come down here. There's 3 men want to meet you. And I thought that was hilarious, because I was sitting on the sofa and I was so not in the mood for meeting anyone at that moment. They said, no, Grace, you've got to come down here. You've got to come down. So off I went. I went down there and I sat next to this gentleman, and he was very shy and very timid. But then it struck me, are you the guy that's been messaging me to go for a coffee? And oh yes, it's me. Yes, I didn't want to intrude, but here we are meeting each other like this, or wasn't planned, so it's nice. I knew in that moment this was totally planned, just not by you or me. Spiritual team. I've been with that guy ever since. It's very nice. It's going well. I think you're beginning to get the hint here, but to go back to the third miracle, the third way we create miracles and harness our spiritual team for miracles is to have a clear intention. As you could hear, I woke up in Dublin with a clear intention for the shoes. I woke up with a clear intention for a man who was trustworthy, handsome, and would be really good to me. Having a clear intention really allows the energy of miracles to just pop in. And the way we come to clear intention is to clear our minds. The junk that's in there isn't always trustworthy. If we would take the time to quieten down the busy, noisy, repetitive, habitual mind, that's always thinking about what's missing and what's wrong with us and what we can and can't have. If we would take the time to quieten that down, we would notice a very clean, clear intention coming through. And if we couple that intention with prayer, wow, prayer is a beautiful, beautiful way to harness your spiritual team, to see miracles occur. So those are 3 ways that you can begin to create miracles daily for yourself. You can begin to call on your spiritual team to move things forward for you, regardless what you're up against. At this point, I'd love to hear from you. Is there a question? Is there a yes, but? Is there a how-to? Tell me what, if you want to write in the comment chat box, you can. If you'd like to come on, do so. At this point, I hope you're feeling a little more faith and hope that you're not alone. A little more possibility that you too have access to something way bigger than you. And that it's a case of calling upon it. It's a case of giving yourself permission to experience that.
Hi, Grace. Hello?
Any question? Any?
Can you hear me?
Comment? Okay, Ornella's just written in. Thank you for writing in, Ornella. One sec, I'll have a look. Okay, thank you. Grace, I don't receive answers or signs when I call upon anyone in my spirit. Can expand on how, please? Well, we do receive answers and directions, but sometimes we don't realize that that's it. Okay, the number of times that I have dismissed what I already heard is unreal, because my mind was just going so fast or was so caught up. I would break it down a little smaller, Ornella, right? If you're in that experience of you're not receiving answers or signs, like go, if you want, try this, go specific. Go specific. In other words, get into your quieter state and ask your spiritual team to send you a specific sign that they are with you. You can pluck a sign out of thin air. It's going to be the sign that you recognize they're with you. Or you can simply let them drop in a sign that, you're going to get an image of a sign that you then look out for in the world. I had that very clear example when I sat quietly and I said, you know, Francesco, could you please show me how I'm going to recognize you, that you are with me? How will I recognize you today? And what dropped in was a can of Coca-Cola. And I immediately dismissed that. Oh, come on, there's Coca-Cola everywhere. That's not a sign. And I did it again, but just show me what it's going to be. Now, I'm an imagey person and a wordy person. So I see or I hear. You gotta know for you, Ornella, what you're most attuned to. But I saw this Coca-Cola can again. So I went about my day. I didn't think anything more about it. I didn't have lots of doubt, but I kind of thought that this is such a common thing, Coca-Cola. I mean, how am I gonna, I don't know that that's gonna be a sign. And later that day, I went to my friend's house and she said, come and sit in the living room downstairs, which we never do. And she said, I'm going to go and make you some tea. And she left the room. And I looked over to the bookcase, and on the bookcase was an empty mini Coca-Cola can. Why it was there, who knows? I knew that was my sign. I knew that wasn't just a can of Coke like you would see at the supermarket. That was in a specific place that I wasn't usually in. And the feeling let me know. So, Ornella, I hope this gives you a little bit of direction, but ask for a sign. Start small if you want to. Look out for it. And just know, when we're not seeing the miracles or we're not experiencing the synchronicities or the signs or whatever, we just have a mind that's going faster than we realize. You know, we just, you know, miracles are occurring naturally all the time. We just miss them because we're not present. Lara asks, and Ornella, you can write back in if you want to let me know. Lara, how do you ask, call out loud in your head? Can you expect an instant reply? You can ask Lara anywhere you want. It can be a mental, please help me in this situation. It can be an out loud. And can you expect an instant reply? Yes, you can. You really can. I remember being with, at the time, my two dogs, and I took them out, was living with my partner's family just after his death. And I took them out to a field where I didn't realize another two like huge Rottweilers were beginning to come towards us. I could never have expected my heart to beat that fast. I was so scared. And again, my invocation was mental and verbal. You know, spiritual team, please support me with this. Please help me with this. Please redirect them. You know, it was pretty much begging, which I don't get into with prayer, but this was begging for support. And unbeknownst to me, Francesco, my partner's brother, had decided to leave the house and follow me to make sure that we were going to be okay. And he showed up with his fiance, and the dogs ran away. The Rottweilers ran away. They obviously felt a presence and they ran away. My dogs were safe and secure. So you can expect instant replies, instant support. You just have to be wired for the miraculous rather than, you know, what our mind can come up with is just so limited. I hope that helps. Charlene, I've unmuted myself to speak, but you can't hear me. Oh, okay, sorry. Do you want to type in? Got a few minutes or try again? So, you know, it really it's a spiritual muscle that you're beginning to practice using. It's not something that you might be accustomed to. It's not something that the world might encourage you to do and applaud you for. It's a very personal and private experience between you and spirit. But no one but you can decide what's true, what's real, and what's not real. And if the sharing of the miracles that I give you in the Facebook group, on these clinics, on anywhere else, are even stirring up a little bit of hope and possibility in your mind, trust that. Trust that. Because what's really going wrong when we're not seeing instant manifestations, remember, instant manifestations of what we hear as guidance, not what we think up to create. When we're not seeing instant manifestations of miracles, something's gone wrong. And what that really is our mind has gone haywire, has just gotten way too fast, too busy, too insecure. Lara, how do you stop your mind replying with a barrage of answers after you ask or know that it's the right action to take? That's a good question. Well, Lara, here's the thing. We all can discern when wisdom is speaking and it's the correct action versus the mind is just kicking off with a ton of stuff. We all have this ability to discern the difference. It's built into us. It's such a natural thing. You know, I get asked this question over and over and over again. How do I know which answer it really is? Stop it. That's got to stop now in all of us, me too at times. Whoever has told you that you can't trust what you hear, what you get, that you got to go and find it somewhere else, that stops now. As you take care of your mind, and what I mean by that is not add more and more positive thinking to it and more stuff to it. What I mean by taking care of your mind is you actually slow down from within. You stop doubting and guessing and wondering and running to other people to discern your truth. Only a lost mind will be asking the questions. What is it really this? Should I really do that? Is it really that? Take care of your mind. Listen to truth. Do meditation if it helps. Stop running left, right, and center. Take the time to get a little more still. And when you hear an answer or see an image of an answer after you ask, Lara, you'll get a feeling. A feeling will tell you, oh, yes, that's right, that's the next step. You might get a recurring answer or image like I did with the CocaCola sign, even though I said, oh yeah, right, like that's not a sign. I'm going to see Coca-Cola everywhere, every day. But it came in again. And so when it came in again, I just put that barrage of thought to one side and I went about my day and found that I was presented that Coca-Cola. So the right action to take and the right answer will be through the feeling you get. About it. It won't come from a ton of questioning. And I don't know where we learned it. We're just all kind of susceptible to this, but somewhere on our journey, we learned that we couldn't trust what we heard or what we experienced or what we saw. And that's really the journey we're all on, is that's got to stop. So I hope this is helpful. If you'd like to go further on this subject, I've got two opportunities for you. The first one is that I'm going to run a half-day workshop. We're doing workshops to support you now. And the next workshop is on Saturday, the 1st of April. And it's basically Your Miraculous Life, harnessing your spiritual team for daily miracles. If you'd love to be a part of that, to take your experience further with this and to really leave doubt at the door and come in and experience a real quietening down of your mind. That's essentially what a lot of my workshops set the tone for. Really quietening down your mind to connect deeply with this part of you that is always there to support you and solve problems for you. That workshop's for you. So that's April 1st, Saturday, April 1st, and you can make your payment on PayPal to @gracefulcoaching at gmail.com. So you can do that, or you can email me or private message me, and I'll send you an invoice to do that. It's £97. It comes with a recording. You can listen to the replay, and if you can't be there live, the replay is always accessible. And actually, I get lots of people writing to me about how much they get from listening the second and the third time. And some people writing to me to say how much they get from just being on the replay because they couldn't make it live, listening at their own time. So if that speaks to you, if this subject speaks to you, if you're ready to really stop efforting alone with your situation, that workshop's perfect for you. The second opportunity I have for you is you can come join me for a live webinar next Monday. So there's no coaching clinic next week, but there's a live webinar next Monday, March 27th, with myself and my colleague Dominic Scafidi. And the webinar has the same title as my workshop, but this is a free webinar, and it's called Your Miraculous Life as well. And we're going to share with you how to step into that miraculous life more and more. You'll also get a taste of our 12-week program, which is about to happen on April 7th. So come to that webinar if you'd love to, again, experience more miracles in your life, and consider whether or not joining the full program is for you. Let me just get you a link for that webinar, because I do have it here. And it's probably going to be easier for you. You can sign up for the webinar and you get a replay. Okay, here we go. I've got the link. And that's happening Monday, the 27th. Okay, so I'm just going to message everybody here with the link for the webinar. And then my PayPal, if you'd like to join the full workshop happening Saturday, April 1st, my PayPal is gracefulcoaching@gmail.com. And that's a half-day workshop. So we'll start at 8 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Italy, and I can send you the details. We'll run through for an hour or two and take a break and come back again for an hour or two. So I look forward to helping you with that. I really, really look forward to that. Charlene, I just see you written in. I do think my nervous system is fried. What do you suggest? Meditation. Well, the fact that you know that your nervous system feels fried is the point of change. I wouldn't be worried about you because you recognize that. Most people who end up in trouble with their nervous system don't even know that that's going on. What would I suggest? Well, just good care of yourself. I know we're going to have our one-to-one coaching call tomorrow, but if I had to suggest anything right now, it would certainly be that you just take good care of yourself, that you get some magnesium into your body. That's particularly good, I have found, for the nervous system. And that, yeah, like you said, meditation, whatever else comes to you, cooking something nourishing, just treating yourself like wrapped in cotton wool right now. And please know that this too shall pass. It doesn't matter how wired we've become with efforting or pushing or worrying. We're one thought away from a whole new experience. So whatever you need to do, Charlene, and thank you for writing in. So thanks for being here, everybody. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you all very soon. And take care. Next coaching clinic is in 2 weeks' time. Lots of love. Bye.